This has been an interesting ride in a quite fancy car.
And I'm like, come on through, Cookie. Come on up on my soapbox. That's basically it. Let's talk about drag in all its forms. What, Cookie?
Okay, guys, thanks so much for tuning in and clicking on this video. Let me first start off by saying I missed last week's review, so I'm not going to go back and do two separate reviews. I'm going to start this off with a real quick recap of what went on last week, and then I'm going to go right into the finale. The reason everything happened, I actually, of course, you who have been following me for quite a while know that I was actually going through chemotherapy and all of that. So I had a moment coming up off of the chemo and all of that. I had a moment and I ended up being hospitalized for a couple of days. So this is why I had no reviews out last week, and I'm not going through the whole process of trying to do all those reviews. We just gonna catch up and we're gonna move forward. But thank you guys for your patience and hanging in there until I got back up in here. So, with that being said, episode 10, very quickly. Shaquita asked Veronica for a ride home from the jail. After Veronica got her out, Veronica was like, hell no, you're not getting no ride. She basically told her everything about Candace's house and the floor and the different things that they saw, and the fact that Quincy's ass was missing. So they did that. Speaking of Veronica, Veronica knows now that there's a hit on her because Shaquita let her know. One of my people sitting at your house waiting to kill you, so don't take your ass home. That rotten ass Veronica calls Maggie and tells Maggie, girl, meet me over at my house. So she done got Maggie's ass on the way to her house to get popped instead of her. Dave is running all around town still trying to figure out where Veronica lives. Jeffrey's going back and forth and acting stupid as usual. He's sitting up in there. Erica was up in there. He comes in. Now he wants to track for his phone. The talk about the phones here. Of course, I don't know what kind of tracking devices they have, but their tracking devices is better than Siri. It tells you every goddamn thing. This fool sitting up to it's up underneath the dirt, out back. It's right up here, up underneath the dirt. Just ridiculous. Ridiculous. So Candace basically ends up telling him where Quincy is and leave it alone. Go get a locksmith, and shut the hell up and let's move the fuck on. Wyatt is literally up in the hotel getting fucked up and being just the biggest junkie you ever seen. He's shooting up heroin. He's snorting coke. He's, you name it, he's fucking doing it. He's a fucking junkie. I mean, he's a real type of get high motherfucker. Catherine ends up, she's over there begging Hannah to stay. Hannah's running through the house, stealing, basically. She's finding money in couch cushions, and she tore the house up and found damn near $1,000, $980 something, and told Catherine, look, this is how much I found, this is how much you owe me, I'll be back for my money. Catherine ends up begging her. She's like, here's my jewelry, credit cards, whatever, you can't leave me and all that. And she basically told her, isn't that something, you rich, you buy anything you want, bitch, but then what you really need, you got to beg somebody for. Bitch, I'm out of here. And went on up out of there. She gets to the hospital and all that, they let her know, we're not giving you no baby. We're not giving you the baby. War actually ended up walking in on Candace and Benny having a conversation, and Candace was telling Benny, no, don't go into business with War. That's the most of it that War heard. Yeah, whatever. Creepy motherfucker. Okay, so that's all last week. That's all episode 10. which brought us up to the finale, which is episode 11. Bam, we're going to start right off with creepy ass goddamn cute War. He done broke into Candace. I'm so sick of this motherfucker breaking in and out of her motherfucking house. Now, this is the thing that's working me with that. Because the bitch across the street is so motherfucking nebby. She see everybody coming and going, but she don't never see War breaking in the house. And she ain't never thought to go ahead and have War arrested. Because you could get him snatched up and get him arrested. The bitch across the street got cameras. And he's not always breaking in the back door. Because this time, his ass was standing in the front. So, I don't know. Maybe he is breaking in the back door. I don't know. But anyway, just never thought to have him arrested. But okay, whatever. Whatever, because I guess you'd have to tell too much. Anyway, so she's in there with War. He came in there hitting her and shit, smacking her around and getting on my motherfucking nerves. I was like, you know what? War, me and you, we not going to get all this hitting and shit. And all this raping and hitting and raping and hitting. No, sir. Anyway, so he tells her, basically, I'm moving your time up, bitch, because you're trying to be slick. And she's like, no, I'm just trying to protect Benny. That's all. Ain't no thing. I'm just trying to protect him. He's like, yeah, okay, bitch. Kept calling her a bitch and stuff. They're going to tell her, your time is moved up. You got 48 hours, bitch. Erica ended up coming to the door. She's like, come in. So Erica comes in and everything. Then her and Erica have this banter back and forth. She's like, he doesn't even remember me. And she's like, oh, you know him? And she's like, this, that, thing, and the other. She's like, no, the girl Jasmine that he mutilated, that was my sister. And she's like, I just moved here. He didn't even give me a second look, didn't pay me no attention. But he mutilated Jasmine about $700. So obviously War actually put Jasmine on the track. So really, I don't know. I want to know the background story for real about War and Candace, because I think there's more to it. I think War actually has something to do with the fact that Candace is a hoe and all of this kind of shit. That War, he seemed like a pretty rotten type motherfucker. He really did. I would love to know more about the background of him and his real involvement with Candace, because it sounds very much pimps up, hoes down to me. You know, it sounds way more than just this family friend thing that just took a liking to her. No, it sounds very pimpish and hoish, like he's the one that may have actually introduced her to being on the track. But okay, anyway, we'll see. We'll see what Tyler gives us going forward. Okay, also Erica and Candace talk about the fact that, about the baby. Candace says she's going to get the baby. Erica told her, do not go and get that baby. Leave that baby out of this shit. Girl, you need to protect your ego and put it in your back pocket. Let your mama raise that baby and go on. Of course, Candace is getting attitude. She's mad. She's like, don't do that. And Erica's like, look, my stepmother and my father have my kids. My kids don't want nothing to do with me. I just got to deal with that. But I know that my kids are better off. We are not cut out to be parents, Candace. We're not. You know, and that was besides the fact that you got this crazy motherfucker breaking in there, raping you, you know, because it's a Tuesday, and beating your motherfucking ass because it's 4 o'clock in the daytime, you know. So, you know, they, of course, wasn't going to see eye to eye and all of that. And she's like, she'll turn him against me. And she's like, girl, listen. It's still better for everybody. You ain't the parenting type, bitch, but whatever. So they left it on alone. Then we got Jim and David. Oh, shit. Let me go back for 1 second before I go to Jim and David. Something that I forgot about last week's episode because they actually closed up that whole storyline. They didn't close it up, but the last thing we got of that storyline of Jeffrey and the police officer. Last week in episode 10, Jeffrey was in the house. He was stuck in the house when the show first came in. He was stuck in the house with the damn creepy ass cop. And they was going back and forth, and Jeffrey was telling him, "You getting so close to me, you must want to kiss me." And he's like, "I'll bash your head through the wall." And Jeffrey ended up putting his hand down there and filling him up. And of course, he had a hard on and all this, kind of carrying on. Candace ended up walking in the midst of all this. And, it was like this weird exchange. And the cop's like, "Oh, he was leaving," and just this, that, thing, and the other. And she says to Jeffrey after he leaves, "Why was his pants unzipped?" And Jeffrey's like trying to deflect what Candace is saying. And when they finally ended up, she said, you will tell me why his pants was unzipped. You will end up telling me that. Trust me, you will." And went on. Okay, so I just remember that. All right. Okay, moving forward. Jim and David. David then went back down to the jail. He's talking to Jim. They're going back and forth. He got motherfucking Veronica's wig and tells David, "I still have power." That motherfucking David looked at him and said, "Really? You sitting up in there playing with wigs in the jail. You call that power?" I said, "Oh." Read his ass. And he gonna say, "Yeah." So they going back and forth, and he's telling them, he's still threatening them. "Something happened to my wife, man, I'm gonna fuck your ass up." He gonna take the wig and throw it out there, David, and tell him, "It's all you got left. That's all you got left. It's too late. It is what it is." He said, "I'm gonna stand right here, Jim, and I'm gonna wait on this phone to ring. If my phone rings and somebody tell me something's wrong with my wife, I'm gonna come in that cell and I'm gonna kill your motherfucking shit." And Jim's like, "Ooh, I'm just so scared." He's like, "All right, I'm gonna fuck you up, man. I already told you." So they go back and forth. David's phone rings. Somebody done gave him the address. He take off. And he's like, "Where you running to?" He said, he said, "You better hope I'm saving your life." "Oh, yeah. Still being smart." So David goes on off. So that's it. That's all we see of David. So he runs around for the rest of the month. He'll be running around until the goddamn summertime, I guess. When they come back, he'll be running for a few months. So that's that. Then we see the shady ass banker. Candace ends up going down to the bank because Erica got all the paperwork together so she can go and take out a loan against the mortgages on the two houses and the tow yard. Well, it's that shady ass motherfucking banker that deals with the criers. The banker, he, fucks around with her, tells her it's a 30-day process. She's like, "I need this done in 2 days." "Oh, no. I can't do it." This, that, thing, the other. After Candace goes ahead and leaves, she told him, "I still want this process. It is what it is. I want a process." She leaves. He goes and sees Jim and tells Jim, I said, "They got more people coming in there doing business with this motherfucking criminal." Okay? That's just crazy. But anyway, he's going on. Jim ends up telling him, "We own so many shares in your bank. You give a loan to whoever the fuck I tell you to give a loan to. Give her a loan. Give her the loan, and I want you to put it in the small print. Make it a balloon on the loan for 15 days. She got 15 days to pay everything back, or we're going to foreclose on all of it," which is not, ain't going to happen. So we're going to foreclose and get all her shit. And I'm like, "Okay, Tyler, sure, we'll believe all that. We'll believe that Candace is stupid enough for all that. Like she going to miss it. Everybody knows she's lost, dude. She wouldn't miss that. And the thing, she's going to agree because bitch want to live. But she's not. That was kind of, but whatever. That was just Tyler's way of we're getting rid of war for this point. She gonna get the money to be able to pay war off, and so we can move on with the storyline. I thought that was a little bit lazy because war not gonna just go away. When she give him this $2 million, that motherfucker is not gonna go away. But anyway, she gonna have to do him and put him sideways, parallel with his friend out in that backyard. But anyway, so they go through all that. Jennifer and Catherine have a run-in. Catherine goes down there. She's telling her, get in touch with Wyatt. Call him now. I don't know his number. You do know it, and you will call. They going back and forth. Jennifer's trying to be smart. Next thing you know, she tells her, I'm going to tell you something. She said, you're a stupid bitch. She said, and you gave my son his inheritance. You knew he had a drug problem, and we told you he had a drug problem. So you literally put things in my son's world to fucking kill my son. And I'm telling you, bitch, that I own a whole bunch of shit around here. And then the things that I actually have control over is where you got these frozen, unfertilized eggs that you got. I don't have no son, bitch. You not going to have no motherfucking son either. And that family that you do have, you're not going to have them either, bitch. And she's like, do you know it's a federal offense to threaten me? She said, good, bitch. Then let me make it even more clear for you. Bitch, I will have you murdered in the street. I said, damn, Catherine. She told that bitch, I will have you murdered in the motherfucking street. I looked up, honey. Jennifer Saladin's edges got just as crunchy. I said, ooh, you scared now, bitch. She's like, you know what? Try and have a good day, because it just might be your last. That goddamn Catherine marched her ass on up out of that office. Jennifer got to scrambling and calling folks. I said, try to find Wyatt. Oh, yeah, they found Wyatt. This motherfucker is over there completely passed out. The people see him. They're like, hey, they could not wake him up. Like he done OD'd. He done OD'd and his ass is laying in there. They done left him up in the hotel. They finally did find him. Wyatt has absolutely no pulse. But of course, I don't think they're going to kill Wyatt off. But he definitely has OD'd. Okay? So he's up there stretched the fuck out with his good old high junkie ass. I really, anyway, shut on that. I ain't saying nothing. Just like David's running around for a few months, that motherfucker will be passed out for a few months. Okay, so moving on from there. Hannah catches some buses and things and goes on over there to Candace's house. She shows up at Candace's house. The little girl's grandfather's there. The lawyer's there. She forced her way in the door with Benny. Benny's there and Candace is there. And they're talking about this lawsuit. Hannah put everybody out. And Candace is like, wait a minute, bitch, this is my house. She said, I said, get out. So the two of them end up leaving. She ends up going back and forth with Benny and telling Benny, you ain't suing them people. And Benny's like, what? She said, this type of greed is the thing that sends you to hell. She said, you already got your settlement. She said, you got a house, you got that tow yard, you got all your medical bills paid. Them people that already paid you, you already got your settlement. Leave it alone. And Candace is sitting over there, and she gonna say, yeah, I already know what she did to get it. So she spills the beans. She done got that man for $7.4 million. Benny looking and shit. She gonna say, yeah, she did. They going back and forth. So then she says, let me go, because I ain't got all else to do. You heard Candace having their back and forth. And they're going on, and she's, Candace accused her of being a liar. She said, you're a liar. You knew that he hit him. And she's like, I did not, little girl. And you don't even know what you're talking about. She's like, you're a liar. She said, keep on. I ain't but a minute off your ass, Candace. I'm telling you, keep on. And she said, you just still running around with them. You still the good slave. She said, I'm going to knock the hell out you, Candace. I said, oh, she had Hannah cussing and shit. So then next thing you know, Candace is standing there. She gonna say, you know what, I'm gonna do what I came here to do. I ain't got this to do. I ain't fighting arguing with this bitch. She get down on her motherfucking knees and go to begging Candace to let her have the baby. Tell her that baby needs to have a nap time. That baby needs to have time to go to bed. He need to have a regular motherfucking life. And fuck all this shit we got going on. Please let me have this baby and raise this baby for you, Candace. Candace looked Hannah in her face and told her, I would rather he be with strange foster parents than to end up with you. And Betty told me, she don't mean it, Mom. She'll say, oh, yes, she do. She means it. She said, then Candace is going to dig the knife in a little further and tell her, And it's strange that you're down there on your knees, because that's how I paid for this house. Baby Hannah got up and smacked Candace, and Candace looked at her, and then she smacked her back. I said, oh, shit. She smacked her and shit. Child, they went to fighting, honey. Well, no, they ain't go to fighting. Hannah went to fucking Candace up is what happened. She got to choke Candace out. I said, you a bad bitch, but you ain't got a goddamn thing for that little pint-sized problem you got over there. She was choking Candace's ass off. Benny gonna break him up. She said, let me at her. I'll kill her. I'll kill her. I said, okay. And they went on, and that's what she told. She said, you know what? I'm done. She said, I am done. You put your motherfucking hands on me today, bitch. I am done with you. I'm done. She said, what is the date, Benjamin? What's the date? She said, the 14th. She said, he said, on Sunday, she said, I'm done. I am done. I said, oh, girl, she'll put that hoodoo on you now, bitch. And she told her, you don't even understand it. She said, you don't even know what it is to be running around here with nobody to be able to keep you prayed up. You know, she said, because I prayed for you. She said, and I was praying for you and crying all night. And last night, God told me something he ain't never told me. He told me to stop. To stop. And baby Candace was sitting over there crying. She was crying because in the back of her mind, she already know it's like pretty much inevitable at this point because she don't know she's actually going to get that loan. She don't know that war ain't really going to kill her because in her mind, she really does believe war's going to motherfucking kill her in like the next 2 days. And when Hannah said that shit, I said, yeah, bitch, I see your wheels spinning. I see your wheels spinning and you getting the message of what she telling you. Ain't nobody to cover you no more, you mean old black bitch. But I was like, oh my God, Hannah's done. She's like spent with this whole bullshit with Candace. She told her, I said, you're done. You are done. She said, I didn't cry for you the last time, but you put your motherfucking hands on me. Really? So I'm done. Benny's standing up there. And Candace ain't never going to let it go. She's just not going to let it go. She'll say, Hannah. You know, she said, told her about not having no coverage. She said, well, tell me, who covers you in prayer? She going to say, the blood of Jesus. She said, and Hannah, tell me how's that working for you? Where do you live? I said, good one, Candace. Good one. That was good. It was ugly. And it was a kick when you down, but it was ugly. I said, oh, Candace, that was cut. She told her, keep it up here. Keep it up. I said, girl, she going to fuck you up, Patty. She going to fuck you up. But Hannah ended up getting her bag of shit. She left. She's done with Candace. She really is. She's done. Benny's standing there looking stupid. Now, this is where I don't understand Benny. I got a brother that's younger than me, about 3.5 years. And I love my brother, okay? And I will fuck you up about bothering my brother. It's just the way it is. It's the way it's always been. No questions asked. And me and my brother, we don't get along all the time. We do not get along. But, and it's not that we feud or anything. We're just different. We are literally different. We're like night and day. But, in the end of the day, no matter what's going on, I'm going to stand shoulder to shoulder with my brother and we will tear some motherfucking shit up. Same way with Candace and Benny. Shit will get tore up. But if my brother put his hands on my motherfucking mother, all bets off. I will take Jermaine and kick his motherfucking ass. Do you understand me? And I don't give a fuck if she is wrong. My mother could be totally, completely motherfucking wrong. If she wrong, motherfucker, call her a bitch under your breath and move on. If you put your hands on her, I am going to fuck you up. That's the only thing in this world, I believe, that will really make me really, my kids too. I'm sorry, it's just the way it is. Them two and my mother are the only thing in this world walking that will make me turn on him. I wouldn't even turn on him about my grandmother. I would give my grandmother, girl, you better go ahead, honey. But my mother, He put his hands on my mother, I'll wring that motherfucker's neck up off of where he lay on his body. Trust me. I didn't understand that. Benny just standing up there looking stupid. I said, you done got mad at Candace over shit that was completely irrelevant. You know, completely irrelevant. And she stood up there and slapped your mother, and you let that bitch live? Child War would have never got to her. I'd have tore. Candace would have been bald-headed with one track when War get there to get her ass. And I'd have had to apologize to her later, but I'd have fucked her ass up about smacking my mama. Anyway, let me get down off my soapbox, but bam, and let's move on. Okay. So, Veronica ends up showing up at the damn house. So we got Veronica, Candace, and Jeffrey at the house. Veronica come in. She talking some old smart, slick shit to them. And she got this water bottle. And she's steady talking. And then she's throwing out these idle threats again. Based on Jeffrey, oh, you're going to do what I tell you to do. This, that, thing, and the other. Telling him, you'll come and move to my house because this is where you're staying. You know, this, that, and the other. He's like, yeah. And Candace is like, you gonna say it's a nice place, isn't it? I paid for it. She will say, yeah, I heard. With cash. She said, over $1 million, bitch. She said, yeah. Then she said, it's amazing that you would be buying furniture by the room. She said, no, I buy it by the house. She said, but let me tell you something, honey. You see how low this couch is? Girl, that's a telltale sign, honey. It's a knockoff. I said, you bitch. Child, they went back and forth. So she tells Jeffrey, you're not going to testify on me. You're not. And then you're going to come and you're going to move in with me. Move in with me. You and Melissa until the wedding. Because we have a wedding to plan. He's like, I'm not doing any of that. She said, oh, yeah, you are. Took the water bottle, starts spraying on the floor. And Veronica, she's like, do you want me to kick your ass? What are you throwing that damn water on my floor for? Do you want me to kick your ass, lady? She gonna say, calm down. Calm down. She ends up leaving. You know, going on and leaving. It's like, fucking crazy bitch. Then Candace thought about it. And she said, do you think that's poison or something she put down on the floor? Jeffrey said, well, she's not that crazy. He's like, your mother's fucking crazy. That bitch will do anything. Child, then she thought about it. She said, turn the light off. It was luminol. And when you turn the light off, baby, all you see is all the blood splatter all over the place. And they were sitting there trying to figure out how the fuck do she know? Child, because that old motherfucking ghetto ass queen had told her. But anyway, she knew. So they got that on them. So that's how they ended out their little stuff. Last thing. Veronica had, right before she went in Candace's house, she told her, 15 minutes, Maggie, meet me at my house. She goes in, so now she done went on over to her house. She beats Maggie there. She goes up to the door. The shooter's literally standing behind the door. He's standing on the other side of the door when he hear her coming out. And she unlocks the door, and the police car had pulled up. And she's like, okay, she had called the police and told them, I seen somebody in my neighbor's backyard. Can you come check it out? So she unlocks the door, turns around, walks back away from the door, and goes and starts talking to the police officer. And she's like, yeah. And he's saying, we checked everything out. We didn't see anything or see anybody or anything like that. She's like, oh, okay. So they're like, yeah, we didn't see anything and all that. Cool, no problem. Turns around and tells Maggie, oh, go ahead, girl. Go ahead on in. I'll be in just a second. Maggie goes on up to the door. Maggie opens the door. Her and the shooter lock eyes, baby, standing there with a silencer and pops her, baby. Choop! I said, oh, damn. And that's where it blacked out and it ended. Now, I don't know what's going to go on a month. That bitch will be shot in the door for a month. But she had to get shot. She had to get shot and she got to be dead. Tyler better not come back and save Maggie. There's no way Maggie could be safe, because when I say they opened the door and they was just like this, and this motherfucker standing there with a gun, with a silencer, there's no way that Maggie could not be dead. No way. He's too close to her to even miss. You know what I mean? And I said, okay, so it is what it is. And that's where it ended out. It was really good. It really was good. And what's going to tell the story is how Tyler comes back into it. And I'm telling you, I want Wyatt dead and I want Maggie dead. Period. They better be dead. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, and I don't think either thing is going to happen. I don't think either one of them is going to be dead, but they should be. Anyway, that's it. That's all I got. Thumbs up, thumbs down. I hope this wasn't too long for you guys because we did kind of cram 2 things in and it's a finale. I tried to get it all out without making it too long. Again, I thank you guys for your patience and holding for me in my little time. And that's it. And we will actually be back with this as soon as it come back, baby. I can't wait. All right, guys. See you later. Bye.